Hey folks, Tim here from Rockout Videography again. So, you have a kid who wants to learn to play electric guitar or bass, or maybe the kid inside you's decided to learn to play. If so, you're going to need more than just an instrument to get started. What you may want to get is a starter pack that has most or all of the things that you will need. We're going to talk about various options available in several price ranges, as well as the pros and cons of buying a starter pack as opposed to doing it a la carte. Stick around. It's our electric guitar and bass starter pack episode. For anyone starting out on electric guitar or bass, there are a few minimum requirements as far as gear that you will need. Obviously, you're going to need a guitar or bass. Because there is little volume output from the strings alone, especially with an electric bass, you're going to need some kind of amplifier. Something with an aux in and a headphone output would be best so that you'll have the ability to practice quietly with headphones. To connect the instrument to the amplifier, you're going to need an instrument cable. I would recommend you get a cable that's at least 6 feet long. Now, you can plug your instrument into your amp and hear yourself play. Great, right? Not so fast. Is your instrument in tune? Probably not. You're going to need a tuner. I would recommend that when starting out, you get a clip-on tuner so you don't have to deal with pedal power supplies or additional cables. This is the bare minimum that you need gear-wise to learn to play. However, there are a few other things that you may want. Most people are going to be playing electric guitar with a pick, so you're going to want to get a few of these. For you bass players, you can play with your fingers, but many people also play with picks. I recommend that you try both to figure out what you like best. Ideally, you'll want to be able to play bass either way. A strap is required if you want to play standing up and is actually not a bad thing to have when sitting down, but it isn't necessary to learn to play. It's just nice to have. You're also going to probably want to buy a stand to sit your instrument on when you're not playing it. Leaning it against stuff like chairs, couches, or tables can lead to instruments falling over and getting damaged. Trying to store it laying down just isn't very convenient either. If you're going to be transporting your instrument outside your home, you'll definitely want some kind of case or gig bag to carry it in. Hard shell cases are more expensive, but do provide excellent protection for your instrument. A gig bag is more affordable and will do a decent job of protecting your instrument if it's padded. A thin nylon gig bag is still useful, but won't provide as much protection. A gig bag is a fine choice when starting out, so you probably want to get one of these instead of a hard shell case. Another useful thing to have for guitar is a capo. However, when you're just starting out, you probably won't need one right away. So there's the stuff that you actually need to get started, and a few more things that you may want as well. If you decide to research every one of the items I just mentioned and figure out which versions or brands to get, it could become really confusing really fast. This is where the concept of starter packs come in. Squier has been offering these since at least 1997 and may have been the first to do it. I couldn't find any earlier examples, although there may have been some. The idea is supposedly credited to Joe Carducci, who was the marketing manager for Squier at the time. Fast forward to today, there are many other options available in many price ranges. Squier still seems to be the leader as far as the well-known name brands are concerned, though. The advantage to buying a starter pack is that you don't have to do a lot of research or make decisions. You just find an instrument you like in the price range you can afford and buy the pack with all of the other items you need included. We recently visited our local guitar center to do some research and try out a few of the options available. What we found when we arrived was that there were no demo models of the amps that come with the starter packs available to test. We talked to one of the sales staff that we've dealt with before and asked him his opinions about the starter packs and why there were no amps available to test. He told me that they sell a lot of these starter packs to beginners and that for a lot of them, they turn out to be a good purchase. However, his only real criticism was the amps that come with them. He said that they just don't have the tone and are not loud enough for anything other than bedroom practice. He said that they didn't have any of these amps available to demo because they don't carry them in the store. There are not enough people who want these amps for them to stock them. Anyone who's going to use one of these amps is probably going to just go ahead and end up buying a starter pack anyway. My opinion of the small practice amps that I've encountered in my lifetime is exactly the same. And this is a good time to talk about who these starter packs are made for. The honest truth is that the vast majority of people out there who start out trying to learn to play guitar or bass give up after a very short time. This is an especially important consideration if you're a parent shopping for one of your kids. On one hand, they are going to need a better, more powerful amplifier if they actually learn to play and start a garage band with their friends. But just how much money do you want to invest into gear that may very well end up sitting in the closet until they leave home for college and you sell it at a garage sale? As we will discuss later in the video, moving up to a louder amplifier is a big jump in cost. In fact, let's go over the a la carte price for some of these accessories. A tuner will cost you about $25. This one is listed at $27, but you can find one a bit cheaper if you look around. We have one around here somewhere that was around $15. A 6-foot instrument cable will cost you about $7 for a really, really cheap one. A strap will cost you about $15 if you buy a cheap one. A guitar stand will cost about $15. All right, let's look at some of the options available out there and discuss their features and their value. We could go over every type of starter pack out there and be here all day, but we're going to just focus on examples of Stratocaster style guitars and precision style basses, with the exception, of course, of Epiphone, who just makes Les Paul packs. First up is one of the companies in the lowest price category. Glary has a Stratocaster style electric guitar pack for only $80 that has everything you need. I actually bought one of these for Quincent last Christmas, and it's not bad at all. The guitar needs a setup, but she's able to learn and play on it. The amp sounds exactly like you would expect. Okay, what I have right here is I have our Glary Strat starter pack. Stickers were not included. If you want some cool stickers, you're going to have to get them yourself. Now, before I demo it, though, real quick, if you could do me a favor, hit the subscribe and like buttons. When I woke up this morning, the channel was at 992 subscribers. Now, we may have reached 1,000 by the time you see this at some point in the future, but man, we're really close, so if you could help us out, that would be great. And also, if you're interested in nerdy t-shirts, we actually revamped our whole line. I'm kind of waiting for the stuff to upload, but if you click on our merch store, it'll take you to it, and then you can see the new stuff. All right, so here we go. This is a Glary Strat. Now, this needed a setup. It still needs one, but it's playable. So let me explain what a setup is, because I'm assuming that a lot of you that are watching this video, you're new to all this. That's why you're looking at starter packs. Okay, so this is the bridge of a guitar, and you'll notice that there's a lot of adjustment here. That allows you to adjust the distance between the bridge and the nut for a string, which affects whether it will be in tune all the way down the neck. It also allows you to raise or lower the string height. And on most modern basses or guitars, there's going to be a access point here for the Allen wrenches that came with it so that you can adjust the neck as well. You can learn to do a setup, and that would be a whole nother video, but I just wanted you to be aware of what we're talking about throughout the rest of this video when I say it's going to need a setup. That's what we're talking about. You can pay someone to do it, or you can learn to do it yourself. All right, so let me turn this amp on. You can hear a little bit of noise. And what I'm doing right here is I have the gain down. Let's get the volume here. That's its clean tone. It's got bass and treble, so you can add or reduce the bass. We're going to bring it down to just a little bit shy of noon. And then our treble, with no treble, pretty dull. As I add more treble, we'll put it up at about 3 o'clock there. Now, Another thing to mention, if you watch the channel, you already know this, but for those of you that are new, I'm a bass player. I'm not a guitar player. I suck at guitar. But I can play enough to show you what this sounds like, right? So here it is with the clean tone. It doesn't sound very good, and that's the point that we're talking about when we say that these amps just don't have the tone. So that's the clean tone. I'm going to turn the volume down a little bit more. So it's loud enough that it can... See, I suck. Let me make sure I've got my E. So it's loud enough right now that I can overdrive the microphone on the camera, but this thing is not going to be loud enough to play alongside a real drum set. Maybe an E kit where the amp is turned down, but not a real drum set. Okay, let's talk about the gain setting. The original way an amplifier gets distortion is through the gain. As you turn the gain up, though, you will need to turn the output volume. Gain just means the volume going into the amp. You're going to need to turn that down. So you can hear it, right? It's starting to get that distortion sound. Let's turn the gain all the way up. Turn the volume down a little bit. Right? That's the gain setting. So yeah, it'll break up. That's what we call it when the gain starts to cause it to distort. We call that breaking up. So this thing will start to break up, and you can get some high gain tones out of it. But it just doesn't sound great. However, here's the important point. Is it good enough for you to learn to play guitar? Yeah, it is. Okay? So if you or a kid of yours or whatever is looking to learn to play, will the cheap practice amp in one of these starter kits be good enough for now? Yeah, it is. It doesn't look like Glary offers a Strat without the starter pack, so I can't really compare the price to doing it a la carte. Glary also makes a P-Bass starter pack. It has everything you need except for the tuner. I bought Samuel a left-handed Glary P-Bass for Christmas without the starter pack because we already have plenty of bass amps around the house. It badly needed a setup, as is expected with these really inexpensive instruments. However, it's now a totally playable instrument. The Glary P-Bass is only $66 by itself and comes with everything in the pack except for the amp. You can buy one of those a la carte for $36. The total would be $102, so it looks like you saved $22 buying the pack. Another option available is the Strat Pack from K-Taxon. Since they're made by the same company, it's not a surprise that it's so close to the Glary pack. However, this one doesn't have a tuner and is the same price. The guitar is $60 by itself and comes with everything but the amp. The amp is $36, so the total cost would be $96. You save $17 buying the pack. The K-Taxon P-Bass is actually a PJ bass and comes with a capo. If anyone can explain to me how you would use a capo on a bass, let me know. Post-production editing Tim here. I feel really stupid right now. I actually do use a capo on the bass, but I use it when I'm doing a setup. I don't use it when I'm actually playing. So if you're planning to learn to do your own setups, that's not a bad thing to have. Otherwise, for playing, you don't need it. The bass does look really nice, though, and the pack is about $9 less than the Glary version. This one also is missing the tuner. The amp appears to be the same amp Glary is selling with a slightly different knob arrangement. Again, they're selling stuff made by the same company. The K-Taxon P-Bass is only sold in the pack. Next up is a Strat Pack from Donner. Some people believe that Donner instruments are better than the ones from Glary and K-Taxon, and this is reflected in the price. Donner is a company from China that sells a lot of gear in the cheap affordable range, some of which is the same items being sold by other companies, but at a slightly higher price, like the cheap tuner we recently reviewed on the channel. The Donner Strat Pack goes for $180 and has everything you need, including a tuner. It even has a capo. The gig bag looks like it may be better quality than the Glary and K-Taxon bags. The practice amp is unique to this starter pack and doesn't seem to be available a la carte, although There are a bunch that seem to have the same knob light input configuration for $30 to $35. Since the guitar goes for $180 without the amp, tuner, and capo, I'd say this is a good deal. The Donner bass pack is priced at $170 and does not come with an amp or tuner. In fact, I'm not sure this strictly counts as a pack since there's no amp. The gig bag looks to be the same or better quality as a Strat pack. That's just 3 brands in the low budget category. The next level would be the more affordable lines of the well-known brands like Squier and Epiphone. Epiphone offers a couple of Les Paul starter packs. The Melody Maker pack goes for $200 and comes with an amp and a tuner. I could not find this guitar or pack on sale at Guitar Center, but it is for sale on Amazon. The guitar sells for $179 without anything else. I could not find the amp or anything like it anywhere, but if we assume most of these small amps go for around $30, this is a great deal with the tuner included. Epiphone also offers the Players Pack for $269. It also comes with everything you need, including a tuner and what looks like a better amp. This guitar sells for $179 by itself. The amp also seems to only be available with the pack, but I found an almost identical amp by Pyle for $50. So by the time you add the amp, tuner, strap, cable, and picks, it's a good deal. Yamaha is known for making quality instruments, especially pianos. I've noticed over the years that they often have guitars in a wide range of prices. This Strat Pack by Yamaha comes with everything you need, including a tuner. There's also a gig bag included as well. At $320, it's a bit more expensive than the Epiphone packs. The guitar sells for $220 without any accessories. The amp isn't available from Guitar Center, but is available from Amazon used for as low as $172, which seems like a lot. I guess it's only sold as part of the starter pack. When you add it all together, it would be $392 worth of gear for only $320, and that's before you add the price of the tuner, case, and strap. The guitar gets great reviews, and the reviews of the amp are good for a small practice type. I couldn't find any Yamaha bass starter packs anywhere. Now, it's time to finally get to the big daddy of the starter pack universe, possibly the inventors of the concept, and that would be Squier. Squier has multiple Stratocaster-style guitar starter packs in multiple price ranges. First off and cheapest is a rare combination of a 24-inch short scale Strat pack that comes with everything you need but does not include a gig bag. It's available on Amazon, but I couldn't find it at Guitar Center. The guitar seems to be only available with this pack and has a cool red wood grain finish. I can't tell if this guitar is from the Affinity line or not. The price is $240. This would be for little kids who need a smaller guitar. Samuel started out with a short scale guitar when he was younger. A Squier Affinity Mini Strat goes for $190 without any accessories. The Frontman 10G amp sells for $80 on Amazon. When you add the price of a tuner, strap, and cable, this is a really good deal. However, I have my doubts about the amp really being worth $80, but people are buying them and leaving good reviews. The next Strat pack from Squier is the Sonic Series pack at $270. This comes with everything except a tuner and includes a stand and gig bag. The Sonic Strats are Squier's least expensive line and sell for $200 without accessories. At $80 for the 10G amp, another $30 for a strap and stand, a tuner for $25, a gig bag for $25, and $7 for a cheap cable, and you're at $367. So this is a good deal. It saves you around $97. You can step up to a Squier Affinity Series Strat Pack for $360. This one has everything you need except for the tuner and also includes a gig bag. The Squier Affinity HSS Strat costs $300 by itself without accessories. This pack also has a slightly bigger amp with the 15G instead of the 10G found in the previous Squier Strat packs. I could not find this amp available anywhere new without the pack, but the 20G cost $100, so if we split the difference and call it $90, I think that's a fair value estimation. Add a tuner for $25 and you're at $415, you save $55. In the world of bass, Squier has a ton of options. For a Sonic P-Bass pack with a Fender Rumble 15 amp, a cable, strap, and tuner, it'll cost you $340 and doesn't include a gig bag. The Sonic P-Bass goes for $220 without accessories. If you add the amp, which is available by itself for $90, and then include the tuner, cable, and strap, you're looking at about $357 worth of gear. So this bass starter pack is a good deal. Squier's other bass starter pack is an Affinity Series PJ bass in a sunburst finish that is only available in this pack and costs $420. We were able to test drive one of these basses during one of our trips to Guitar Center last year and found it to be every bit as good as our Affinity bass. It also has everything included in the Sonic pack, but also has a gig bag. I noticed that the bags that come with the Squier starter packs are not like the Fender or Squier bags sold separately. They look like these bags from musician's gear with the diagonal hand straps across the bag. An Affinity PJ bass will set you back $280 right now without accessories. Again, add the amp, cable, tuner, strap, and gig bag, and you're looking at $442. This pack saves you about $22. It's also a pack that definitely includes a great bass that is good enough to play at gigs and may never need to be replaced with anything better. At this point, you can see that not only is there a wide range of prices here to consider, you may still need or want additional items after you buy a starter pack. First, decide on what model of guitar or bass you like, then find a starter pack that is in your budget. The more you spend, the more likely you are to get a good guitar or bass. We've had good luck with the two Glary instruments that we have purchased, but some reviewers have reported receiving Glary and K-Taxon instruments with major issues. If you step up to one of the more recognized brands, your chances of getting a better quality instrument improve. Our Squier Affinity PJ bass is a really good instrument. You can shop on Amazon if you want and find just about anything we covered, as well as many other instrument options and additional gear. You can also walk into Guitar Center and get everything you need if you're willing to buy one of the packs that they keep in stock at the stores. Now, let's talk about the reasons why some of you may not want to buy a starter pack. If you're absolutely sure that the person you are buying this for is really going to learn to play and end up playing with other people in a band, you should not get a starter pack. If you really care about quality and just can't see yourself learning and practicing with an amp that doesn't sound good, or you just believe in spending the money to get really good stuff, you shouldn't buy a starter pack. You do have to understand, however, that you are going to be spending a lot more money. Here's my subjective opinion. Others may not share it, and that's fine, but this is what I think. If you are determined to buy a la carte, skip the cheap guitars and buy something like a Squier Affinity Series guitar or bass. I've already stated that the one that we have is a good instrument. It's good enough to play gigs with. There are also models in the sub $300 range by Epiphone, Ibanez, Yamaha, Harley Benton, and others. You just have to do some research. Buy a good padded gig bag or hard shell case, since you are definitely planning on taking this instrument places. Buy a good quality cable, at least 10 feet long. Get a decent clip-on tuner unless you already know you're going to be using pedals. If that's the case, you may as well get started on your collection now and get a tuner pedal and a power supply. That means you'll also need another cable for this. Find a comfortable strap that has the look you are going for. There are tons of options. Get a stand for your instrument. There are even folding ones that can be easier to carry around to practice and gigs. Find an amp that will sound decent and is loud enough to play with a drum set. This is where you really need to put the time into research. You need to watch and read reviews and find something in your price range that will give you the sound that you want. There's no way for me to just tell you what amp to get. Everyone's taste and requirements are different. However, here are two affordable options for those of you who are still on a budget and are trying to do this. This Fender Champion 40 is a solid state amp that gets good reviews and is loud enough for gigs according to people who have reviewed it. This is probably going to be okay for classic rock, jazz, country, blues, that kind of stuff. If you're planning on playing harder stuff, something from Orange, Black Star, or Marshall may be more your sound. If you're planning on being a bass player, this Fender Rumble 100 combo amp will probably do everything you need, regardless of the genre that you are into. There are plenty of options in this price range available from companies like Acoustic, PV, Mark Bass, and others. As you can see, as soon as you add a decent amp to your wish list, the price of all this goes up by hundreds of dollars. This is why one of these starter packs makes so much sense if you're not sure the person you're buying for is really committed to taking all this stuff all the way. There are many other examples of starter packs and other musicians' gear other than what we covered here today in this video. If I know the YouTube musicians community, there will be a lot of comments offering different opinions on all of this and recommendations for gear that we didn't cover. And that's great. There are a lot of really smart people out there with experiences different than mine. So please consider what they have to say as well. If you are an experienced musician with an opinion, please share it here with me and the other viewers. I want to thank everyone who has been supporting us by watching, subscribing, liking, and commenting. As I stated earlier, the channel is right on the edge of an important milestone, and it's awesome people like you who've helped us get there. We hope you found this video helpful and entertaining. Until next time, have a great day.